expert, always gives some tips, some advice that that kids can, teens specifically, can practice at home when they're stressed out. So can you just share with us a little bit about your favorite practices that that teens can do while they're at home?
Yeah, so I think there's a few things that I find useful for me even now that my daughter and I do them together sometimes, and I think are helpful. One is the circle of control. So I think sometimes when we get overwhelmed or very stressed, we start to get into a place of fear or a place of anger or upset, and that's because maybe we are trying to fix things that are out of our control. So, you know, we have different situations in life, and some things, you know, like government policies or opening and closing hours of a shop or of schools, or how other people react, are really out of our control. And what's only in our circle of control is our own ability to react in the way that we want, our management of our emotions, the words that we use, the habits and skills that we develop each day. For example, meditation or sleeping well, eating healthy food, getting exercise, and being kind and self-compassionate to ourselves. So I think, you know, just realizing that spending a lot of energy on the things that are out of our control can really be very unhelpful and unhealthy for our minds. But if we can work on the inner circle of what we can control, then I think we can create a much happier outlook for ourselves. So that would be one thing. Another thing I really like is reframing. So thinking about the situation that we're in. Sometimes we get, you know, overwhelmed, and we think it's the worst thing in the world, and why did this have to happen to me, and why can't it be different? And that's a human condition, right? We struggle, things don't always go the way we want, but sometimes if we can reframe and think of, you know, maybe anything positive that's coming out of this situation, and change our thought pattern, even if it's just a slight shift to, you know, dread and doom to something that maybe we can see things in a different light if we look at it through a different lens. So sometimes it's quite difficult to do, but if you can manage to think about the maybe different options that this opens up. It could be things like, you know, you don't get accepted to the university that you want, or you don't make the sports team. So those are very sad things, and things that can make people feel quite emotional, but you might think about them in a different light, like maybe you're going to end up at a different university, and that might end up being even better for you. Might not think it at the time, but sometimes in life that's what happens. You might meet someone at that new place that changes your life, or if you didn't make a sports team, you might take up another hobby that ends up being your real passion. So I think it's just keeping an open mind. And then the third thing I think would be gratitude. I think gratitude is something that I try to practice every day, and I think some days it's hard, right? You think, no, everything went wrong, I have nothing to be grateful for. But the truth is we really do have a lot to be grateful for, and it can be simple things, you know, like having a cup of tea, or smelling a candle, or, you know, just having a roof over your head. It doesn't have to be some big crazy thing that happened that day. Some days it might be, but I think if you take the time to just look around at what you've got, the people who are in your life, the things that you're passionate about, you'll find a lot to be grateful for. And the amazing thing with being grateful is fear and gratefulness can't be in the brain at the same time. So if you're feeling really fearful about a situation, and then you start to think about even some small things that you're grateful for, that fear kind of dissipates and lets you see the good in the world.